like formal definition of insurrection in the legal code. Now, people will cite to 18 USC. It's not 2383, is it? Oh, maybe it is. People will cite to this, I think. Well, they'll say whoever incites, sets foot on, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, or gives aid to the government shall be fined under this title in prison not more than 10 years. But people are like, oh, well, look, why didn't they charge him with insurrection or rebellion, right? So there's a couple things. So one, insurrection is not strictly defined anywhere in the legal code. There's just a criminal charge for it, okay? But then two, okay, I need you to turn your law brain on, okay? You get your law brain on?
Oh, God, dude, it's pretty empty up there.
It's okay, just a little bit, okay?
Okay.
In the United States of America, all right, if you want to deprive somebody of their freedoms, they have to be afforded due process. Criminal matters in the United States are a very big deal because it's the state coming in to take away part of your life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Like they're coming to deprive you of what should be a right that you can't be deprived of. So in the United States, we have criminal courts to deal with this. However, in the United States, you're guaranteed a process where you have a trial by jury where the onus is on the state to prosecute you and convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that you have committed a certain crime. That standard, beyond a reasonable doubt, means that no ordinary person of sound mind could have a reasonable doubt as to whether or not you had engaged in a particular behavior. So when somebody is talking about a criminal charge, you're proving this way beyond the threshold of any like ordinary thing in society. All of this to say that when somebody says, well, if XYZ had occurred here, why wasn't anybody charged with it? People could not be charged with crimes for a multitude of reasons.
Wasn't the president of the Confederacy not even charged?
Probably. I don't know if any. I don't know
since high school since I've learned about this, but I think that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's been charged with it. I don't think anybody's, by the way, internationally has ever been charged with the war crime with like genocide or whatever, or apartheid even for South Africa. Nobody was charged with that crime as well. Yeah.
I guess here's my follow-up. Is there a point to even arguing it then? Like, all right, he's not going. It's clearly not applying to him. He is running. What's the point of even making the argument?
Well, in my mind, the reason why I think the argument should be made is because that should be, in and of itself, instantaneously disqualifying of a person for running from office. You tried to coup the U.S. government, and you led an insurrection on the Capitol building in order to hold on to power. That's like it's probably one of the most disqualifying things that you could ever do as a president of the United States. There are very few things that would come over that.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I would count it as that, but if it's not being counted in this instant, he is going to run. No conversation's going to flip that.
I guess no. The conversation won't. But what I'm saying is,
if I were to make a video, what would be the point of me even making that argument? You know,
I have no idea. You're a commentary YouTuber. For me, that's not to say that like, oh, you're shitty or do this. But for me, as a political debater, what I don't like is that in the political sphere, conservatives are really good at playing offense, and they never have to answer for anything. And this is what set me off over the Trump quote unquote.
What does that mean though? Like, give an example.
As in, like, after the Trump assassination attempt, right? This is a Republican guy that got shot, okay? Because he stood up and filmed fucking Trump after he heard shots, and he got shot by a Republican fucking shooter at a Republican fucking event. And somehow the entire media apparatus is staring at liberals saying, wow, you guys keep calling Trump a Nazi. Look at what you've done. And it's time and time and time again, it feels like liberals have to apologize for things or, constantly disavow the crazies on their side, like the crazy trans people. When Biden and everybody were running for president, they had to say, no more rioting, guys. The riots aren't okay. You can't set fire to buildings. It's not okay, guys. But on the Republican side, not only do they not apologize for things, they don't even acknowledge they've ever happened. Nobody on the Republican side talked about the dude that was mailing pipe bombs to people who was a massive fan of Donald Trump. Nobody takes credit for the J6 stuff. They either say it wasn't a big deal, or if it was a big deal, it's because Antifa was there, or if it wasn't Antifa, it was because feds made it happen.
Did Mitt Romney and a bunch of Republicans actually say stuff about that though, or am I wrong?
Say stuff about what?
The J6 stuff?
At the very micro moment in time they did, but as time passes, when popularity remains with Trump, they all fall in line.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Okay,
yeah, and,
well,
and
I
then and
guess-
then like yeah, and then yeah, conservatives call, they call us the party of groomers. They call us like pedophiles. There was the whole Gretchen Whitmer plot. They said that was actually the FBI. Like, it's thing after thing after thing of them never accepting responsibility for anything. So all I'm saying is that for me personally, I can't argue for you. I don't know what you're gonna do, but for me personally, when I go to debate now with conservatives, I need an acknowledgement about J6. We're not gonna talk about a single fucking thing about Biden or Hunter Biden or Kamala or any fucking thing. I don't care until you acknowledge that your president tried to coup the government. And now I want you to tell me why the fuck I should take you seriously when you're supporting an insurrectionist who tried to coup the government. It's one of the most anti-American things you could ever do, or pro-American, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But at least admit that was going on, right? Yeah. So that's why this is why I've taken up this mantle, and I think that conservatives were allowed to walk away from this far too easily. Like, in my world, every single conservative right now in office would never hold office again, not because of any legal decree, but just because people would look at them as going like, wow, you really tried to support a guy who tried to coup the government. That's pretty crazy, dog. Like, can't have you in office ever again. Yeah.
Well, what was surprising about watching that last guy is it would have been like the definitions guy.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been like a parody. Like, I felt like I would have written up about how online politics is perceived. He like won't even give a definition to the topic. Like, I think at one point you just like muttered a bunch of gibberish, and
well, wait, why do you think that was?
Well, it was to prove that he doesn't have any comprehension of the word.
No. Why do you think he was so fixated on the definition?
Because he doesn't want to engage in the topic. He doesn't want to.
And why do you think he doesn't want to engage in the topic?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't know this guy, so I don't know if I want to be his bad faith. But in the moment, I perceived it as he either doesn't know anything about it, or he knows it's super fucked, and
there
he
you
doesn't
go.
want
Yep.
to let it get there.
It's the latter. It's always the latter, right? You don't want to engage in it. I mean, like, have you ever? How old are you?
I'm 47.
Are you? I can't tell if you're fucking with me. Fuck you. Listen, I don't know how young you are, okay? Date some abusive women or talk to some or have some manipulative friends, okay? You see these this is like 101 manipulation, right? Is how conservatives engage, right? If you have done something wrong, you don't sit there and try to defend the action, okay? All you do is you attack, you project, try to, move on to something else. Yeah, but you never actually own.
What's the point? I don't get really what the point, like, I don't know, dude. I'm too like commentary brained. Like, I'm not in deep enough. What is the like point though? What does he get from that?
Obfuscation. You don't have to actually admit that, like, yeah, a really fucked up event happened on January 6th. That was
like, what does he gain from not like acknowledging that the thing exists?
You can pretend the Democrats are worse.
Is that literally just the point?
Yeah, it's team sports. It's one of the drawbacks of a two-party system is it might make us a little bit more allegiant to one side and oppositional to the other, maybe. But yeah.
I mean, okay, fuck. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I gotta look into that guy a little more.
I mean, like, to make it commentary brained, right? If you're like a Destiny supporter and evidence comes out, that I'm like fucking 2-year-olds, like, why would you still defend me after that? Or why would you say that, well, Destiny never actually
because he's
did
like
that?
a stan.
Exactly,
He's like
yeah, because this is like
okay,
your
I
guy,
got
like, and you identify with him. Like, fuck, I don't want the guy that I identify with to be a fucking child rapist, right? So it's
He's
either
like a grown-ass man.
Exactly. So either they didn't do it, or if they did, there was a really good reason, or if there wasn't, then it doesn't matter, or right, you just move down the narcissist prayer, basically. Yeah, of course, because you identify with that team, and you don't want to be in the shitty team or the losing team. Yeah.
All right, here's a question I got too: what is the point of arguing specifically over the riot? I feel like that's the least interesting point of the whole thing.
Yeah, fuck. I thought I made this clear beforehand, but maybe I should have made this clear.
When it comes to like the riot stuff, which is the majority of what I've seen you, I saw you like your video you posted today called like arguing with tomfoolery or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
okay. Hold on.
And then you argued with him, and I don't understand the point of even talking about that.
Yeah. This is not the most important part. This is the climax. The only reason why I agreed to argue with Andrew Wilson, okay, because ordinarily he's on my blacklist, okay, because I know how he debates, and it's just not usually worth my time. The only reason I agreed to do it is because I just wanted to kind of like torture test run through like an insurrection argument, because I know that he'll give me like the strongest version of a bad faith attack against that particular argument. But if I'm seriously, he's very good at it. He's like,
hey, you got what you asked for, man.
Yeah, he's like he's very verbally adept. You can listen to him. He'll run circles around. Like, you should listen to a debate Dave Smith. It was a disaster.
Dude, he sounded retarded, bro.
Yeah, he did, but that's because
I swear to God, thought it was a fucking trolling at one
okay,
point.
but that's because I'm extra smart. Okay, listen. All right, I'm not trying to. I'm half joking, but also it is true. Like I'm capable of like if you listen to me talk to Boogie, right? Like I dismantled Boogie, but Boogie in front of a lot of other people can come off as kind of
good
sympathetic.
job. You dismantled the mentally ill guy. Fucking great. I bet you could win a race against him too.
Hey,
Destiny.
excuse me. You guys are the commentary community, and you let this guy have a fake cancer diagnosis for 2 years. All right, so fuck you. All right.
I didn't even think you'd go that far.
Well,
man.
there you go. Okay. Okay, but yeah, I just wanted to torture test kind of like the definition of insurrection and see if he had anything I hadn't thought of. But my future debates for this particular topic are going to focus way more on the events leading up to it than just the riot absent Trump's behavior afterwards. Yeah, because I think Trump's behavior is the most important part of all this. But we didn't even touch on that really with Andrew Wilson.
Well, yeah, because I guess I feel like, I mean, this is how I view January 6th, the entire, like the whole fucking riot, all the way up until I went to make a video on you and I started like reading through the actual docs and indictment and the Supreme Court and all that shit. And it was essentially that, like I always thought, okay, these are a bunch of people, and maybe even Donald Trump, including himself, like thought I legitimately had the election. There was some fraud in place or whatever that had me lose. So I am protesting against that right now by marching to the Capitol. Yeah. To me, I think like that's fine. Like if you genuinely think a false election happened, you should go protest.
Yeah,
is how I thought all the way up until, you know, I read into it and how like malicious it was.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I don't really get the point of like.
Yeah. That was just one like hyper specific, ultra autistic debate that I wanted over that one thing. That's not what my future combos are going to look like. Yeah. If you want to be the first one, and then I'm probably going to try to do this with Mood and other people. I think I probably need like 2 or 3 more days, and then I'll be done doing my whole write-up on this. I kind of want to walk through like basically everything that happened from start to finish, and then I'll ask beforehand like, what are your opinions on this? And then afterwards, I'll ask, you know, were you moved on anything, or what were the most important pieces to you? And then once I've gone through that process with hopefully like 5 or 6 neutral parties, I'll probably try to make like a 10 to 15 minute video condensing what I think are the most important points. Yeah.
I mean, sure. I don't know how much help I could be, like how much insight I could really provide to you, but
well, a ton, because if you're kind of like a neutral-ish third party, then yeah, I can walk through, because like there are things that matter a lot to me, because having like been involved in this, I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. But there might be other people who are like, oh, I guess that's kind of bad, but I don't even know why that's that bad. But this other thing, I actually thought this was way worse, and I might not have even thought of that. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't even know that was as big a deal to some people. So it's just good.
Yeah, if you need a normie opinion, I'm in, dude. I can do it.
Yeah, that's what I'll be looking for. Yeah, I'll probably I'll try to hit up Muda, and yeah.
Yeah, the Canadian dude. Fucking hell yeah.
Well, all you fucking, or not you,
what,
but
you
all the Canadian motherfuckers. I mean, bro, Canadians are real interest in our politics. Okay, I don't know why. Right, Jesus.
All right. So the other thing I got is some questions about like the Supreme Court stuff. Like the majority opinion was ultimately. I'm trying to recall here. I just want to make sure I phrase this right. Correct me if I get.
Yeah. Wait. For which case?
The Supreme Court. For the immunity.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The majority opinion was that they never had a president come under criminal charges before, so that's the reason they ended up like this is logically where it would always end up, is how I interpreted a lot of their opinion. And when I see like conservative people talk about the majority opinion and why like they stand by and why they agree with it, is they always point to like an Obama drone strike that ended up killing like an American.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm trying to understand like I feel like I sort of am understanding a point there, but I don't get it.
You don't get the point they're making?
Like I kind of get the point they're making, but I can't like articulate.
The point that they're making is they're saying, okay, this is what they're saying, okay? I'll do the this
They're
is
saying
the
Obama could be like charged for that.
Yeah. This is the informal argument, okay? The point that they're thinking is, wow, we're going to start criminally charging presidents. You do understand that like all presidents have probably committed some crimes. For instance, Barack Obama literally assassinated a U.S. citizen. Where's his due process? Like they didn't arrest him. They didn't announce charges. They just assassinated him. So if you want to start charging presidents for crimes, how the fuck could you let somebody like Obama assassinate a U.S. citizen? That's like basically the informal version of that argument.
So I get it, but like also, I mean, surely that also doesn't make any fucking sense, like seeing that he's the fucking president and the commander-in-chief of the military.
Well, what do you mean by it? What doesn't make sense? Do you think that the commander-in-chief of the military should be able to assassinate U.S. citizens?
No, but if it's just part of like he happened to be there and they didn't know, then
Well, they did know.
surely
They
there's
went
some
after that guy. I think, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they explicitly targeted that guy. No, I'm 99% sure they did.
what?
Yeah. Yes. A U.S. citizen.
You're
Yes.
just fucking trolling me. No
No, I'm
way.
not trolling you.
So what is the reason then?
Well, the reason was he joined. He was working with. Was it the Taliban? Didn't they call him like Taliban John or something? He was
You
working.
have to be fucking with me, bro. There is no shot.
Hold on.
Oh, you're a fucking liar, dude.
I'm not lying.
Yeah, formal name Taliban John.
I thought they had like a nickname for him. Hold on. Oh, was it Jihadi John? It sounds like I'm trolling you right now.
What are you talking about? There's